I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and today we're talking with Michael McIntosh with Next Gen Technologies. How you doing, Michael?
Doing well.
Good. Michael, you've invited us out to this newly built Seabrook Island home, and you're going to be giving us a technology tour today, where you're going to be describing all of the different technology that Next Gen Technologies installed here in this custom home. But before we get to that, why don't we start by having you tell everybody about Next Gen Technologies?
Well, we're a low voltage firm out of Summerville, South Carolina that specializes in home automation, home theater, security systems, basically any low voltage amenity that goes into the newer custom homes.
And when you say low voltage, what do you mean by that?
Well, that's any electronic amenity, be it computer networking, be it security systems, cameras. It really can entail anything. Feeding a DVD player across the house, anything that's not what would be traditionally high voltage, which would be, your 120 where you plug your lamps in and so forth.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, tell us about the different aspects of this home that Next Gen Technology was responsible for.
Well, we did distributed audio and video. We also did the structured wiring, computer network. We did the security system, surveillance cameras. Did some lighting control on the art lighting in the house. Also some exterior lighting. Did a front door call and kind of integrated it all together.
What is distributed audio and video?
Well, distributed audio is basically what it sounds like. It's one centralized set of gear that can be distributed to any room in the house without having to have a localized CD player or DVD player. You can access it from any room or any TV, and that's where the distributed video comes in. It's the same rack of equipment, but it also distributes the components to those televisions.
So we're talking about the speakers in the wall or ceiling, being able to listen to music throughout the house, and then being able to watch whatever kind of video you would like on whatever TV in the house, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And what that really allows you to do is not have to have that gear in every room. The look of the thing becomes a lot cleaner because all you have in the room then is a flat panel TV hanging on the wall. You don't have to be concerned with, well, where's my DVD player going, or where's my satellite player, cable box, whatever it may be. And also the speakers being in the ceiling, you don't have the big, which that's not really a new thing, but it's nice to have it all tied together.
Yeah. In the good old days, people used to like those big giant speakers and show those off. I remember in my college days, that was the most popular person in the dorm, had the big giant stereo system. And today, people want to hide all that. You don't want to see all of that equipment.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, now your true audiophiles will still want to go with the big tower speakers because you really can't reproduce the sound that they produce. I mean, the in-ceiling speakers can't do that, but they do give you a nice high-quality audio without the distraction of having the big speaker cabinet in a room that it may not fit in.
Gotcha. I'm going to ask you about some of the other terminology that you just used. You mentioned structured wiring that Next Gen Technologies installed. What is structured wiring?
Well, that's just a fancy term for phone and cable. I mean, it's really where it started. You run RG6 and Cat5 throughout the house. The RG6 basically carries any TV signal that any system would use, be it cable, satellite. And Cat5 has a multitude of uses, computer networking, of course your standard telephone would work over it. And now we're even to the point where a lot of video is being transferred via Cat5, and you can split it out to HDMI or component. Any of your HD formats can be transferred over that Cat5 cabling. So it's very versatile.
Yeah, and a lot of times homeowners that are building a house, or maybe they're undergoing a renovation, opening up the walls, even though the homeowner may not have it in the budget for all the bells and whistles that we're going to look at today, don't you always recommend that people at least install the structured wiring, so therefore you've got the infrastructure in place behind the walls, and then you can add on to systems afterwards?
That's a very good point. With, like I said, the Cat 5, the wire itself being so versatile, if you have that structured wiring backbone in place, you can really do a lot of things. It offers a lot of flexibility.
And it's fairly inexpensive to have a company like Next Gen Technologies come out and run that structured wiring for you and then add on to it later.
Yes, very. In the whole scheme of things, it's very minimal.
Gotcha. What about lighting control? You mentioned lighting control. What does lighting control do?
Well, lighting control basically gives you an alternate way to control the light as opposed to going directly to the switch. And when I say that, it may not only be a single light, but you can also put a group of lights together that is accessible with the touch of a button from, you know, an iPad, a remote, a TV screen, and also allows you to set levels of lighting. So if you wanted to create a scene with, you know, one light at 50%, one light at 30% to kind of give, you know, a nice warmth or feel to a room, you can do that.
Gotcha.
Also for safety purposes, we can use, you know, exterior lights that can come on if the alarm goes off, or if there's a fire alarm in the house, all the lights can come on. You know, lighting can be used for a wide variety of things, including energy savings as well.
Mm-hmm. And then some of the other aspects, home theater, that's fairly self-explanatory, and we're gonna take a closer look at that shortly. Security system, again, everyone pretty much knows what that is. A computer network, cameras throughout the house. The Next Gen Technologies provided all the televisions, so those are things that really don't need an explanation from you. But you mentioned that everything, all of the low voltage technology that Next Gen Technologies installed is controlled from an equipment closet. That's where kind of like the hub is of all of the equipment here.
Yes, that's correct. It's all in one centralized location.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's go take a look at that.
Okay.
Okay, Michael, we're in the equipment closet now, and tell us about this rack of equipment we're looking at.
Well, basically, this is the central location for all the components that are being used in the house. You know, starting from the top, we have a couple of cable boxes, a Blu-ray player, and an Apple TV, the controllers and multi-room amplifier, the video distribution system, surround sound amplifier, and then a 400-disc Blu-ray. So really, there's nothing specialized about the equipment itself. It's just the way that it's distributed through the house and the units that we use to control it that kind of gives it the distributed audio and video effect.
What if someone was doing some retrofitting in their existing home and didn't have a dedicated equipment closet? And this is not a dedicated equipment closet. The homeowners are using this also for some extra storage.
Yeah, actually, this is a second laundry room. There's connections for laundry behind the cabinets there, and we just utilized a corner of it. And they use it as a mud room. So it really can go anywhere. You don't have to necessarily have a closet. You know, obviously the gear takes up some space, so, you know, that's always a concern. But it can really go anywhere. And then on a retrofit application, of course, we'd have to see exactly what the homeowner wants. And usually we try to strategically place our equipment closet so that the wire is easiest to run to, whether it be centralized or whether it be the easiest place to get wire to, especially on a retrofit, because you want to keep the damage as minimal as possible.
That's true. Okay, well, let's go and take a look at some of the bells and whistles and how everything operates. Okay. Okay, Michael. This home has a reverse floor plan, and we're in kind of the family room here on the first level, and we're going to go upstairs in a couple of minutes. But I see you have an iPad in your hand. Tell me about what the significance of this is.
Well, as you know, this is a very popular product right now. So we have an application that actually ties into the control system that we were just looking at and allows you to control all of the systems, not only the audio but also the video, look at your security cameras, also adjust lighting. close garage doors, things of that nature. And it can all be done right here from the iPad.
Great. Well, give us a demonstration.
Okay, so basically the interface is very simple. You have icons just as you would with any application or any smartphone, iPad, and they're pretty simple. You have watch, listen, lights, security, comfort. So you basically start with what you want to do. So if you want to watch, you touch the watch tab, and then the screen will change and give you all of the icons for the components that are available to watch. And then from there, you just simply select what it is you want to watch. In this case, I've chosen Apple TV, and once the system communicates it back to the head end, it will then change the sound and the television over to Apple TV. Fairly simple. Most folks are pretty familiar with these Apple-based products. So, and from there, the remote then becomes the remote for that device. So if it's Apple TV, then you now have the Apple TV remote in your hand, and the icons change to the suitable ones.
Okay, great.
If you wanted to go to cable, you can just choose one of the two cable boxes. Here we have a DVR, and we also have just a standard HD cable box. The reason that we have two is to allow, if someone's watching TV in here and somebody wants to watch TV in the workout room, they're not changing each other's channels. So you would definitely still want to have multiple cable boxes. You just house them in the rack as opposed to there. Another thing that it does on the entertainment side is it catalogs your movies. So you have basically all the cover art for every disc in your 400 disc changer right here. And as soon as you find the movie you want to watch, you touch the icon and the magic happens.
Off you go.
Yep. Also works the same way with music in this room. So you basically have all your available music selections down here at the bottom. Of course, you have your Blu-ray and Apple TV, also the disc changer that we were looking at. But also you have a music service called Rhapsody, which, if you're not familiar, is a digital online music service, and it allows you to surf their entire library right here from the iPad and play it through the speakers in the room that you're in, or throughout the house if you so choose.
Interesting.
It also has security. The security system will come up. You have a virtual keypad here that can control it and arm it just as you would from a keypad on the wall. And the cameras around the house we can pull up via the iPad. So if we wanted to look at the driveway, we can see that, or the backyard. All available without ever leaving our seat or watching our movie.
Great.
The lighting control is also on here. It'll bring up all the lights individually here on the left, and then also lighting scenes, as we were discussing earlier, come up on the right.
Interesting. So if you wanted all of the lights on, it says all lights.
That's right. You just hit all on, and that's basically everything that's there's some art lights in this room, the exterior lights. It's being daytime, it's kind of harder to see, but it basically turns them all on. Or if you just if you wanted to turn those lights off, you can just hit off, and they turn back off.
And you had said earlier that that the homeowners do not have lighting control for every light in the home, only the art, any of the lighting that is shining on the art in the house. And what was the other?
Some exterior lighting. We've got front porch light, and then they've also got some lights that are on the end of the garage. And those are mainly what we would call lighting for security purposes. So if the alarm goes off, you would want those lights to come on. It just kind of lights the way. Also, we have it tied into where if it's dark and you open that garage door, then those lights outside come on as well. Kind of home, turn the lights on type thing.
Okay, good. What is there anything else controlled here by the iPad?
Well, there can be. In this application, we obviously didn't do some of the features that are available, but as you can see, there's a comfort tab that we're not using. Sorry, wrong application. But there's a comfort tab we're not using. You can that could be a fireplace, for instance, or thermostat control. You can tie all that stuff in as well.
Gotcha. So you had mentioned when in our pre-interview that that one of the challenges that you had to overcome was to try to transfer a wish list that the homeowners had into an actual equipment list. Right. Tell how do you go through that process with talking with the homeowners and creating that wish list?
Well, it obviously varies from homeowner to homeowner. Some homeowners are very specific and know exactly what equipment they want. Folks that are more technologically inclined. But for the most part, homeowners just know how they use their equipment. So you just listen to them. Do you listen to iPad or iPod? Do you have a lot of music on your computer that you like to listen to? Is there certain websites you like to listen to it through? So just asking those questions. Do you watch a lot of movies? Simple things like that. And then from there, you can kind of put an equipment list together, and then of course it's an involved process. You have to sit down with them and then explain what this equipment does and what capability it gives them, and if they're interested in that. And then of course, as anything, budget is always the determining factor. So fitting it into their budgets also key.
What about ease of use? Because to make a broad generalization, a lot of the folks that are building these real high-end homes are maybe retired. They might be have taken an early retirement. They're probably 45 age or above. They may not be. Some may not be completely comfortable with all of this technology, and I'm going to screw something up. I'm not going to be able to operate it. What do you say to that?
Well, ease of use is key in anything like this, I think. It doesn't matter how much gear you have, how nice your gear is. If you don't know how to use it, you'll never use it. So if it's not easy to use. So I think it's the most important to make this system user-friendly. And knowing your customer is key in that too. Is it somebody who's very technologically inclined, or is it someone that locks up a cell phone by picking it up? I mean, there are both types, and I run into both types. So I think knowing your customer helps with that, and just getting to know them on a personal level, not only on a business level, I think helps.
Yeah, because the homeowner just wants it to work. That's right. And probably one of these days you'll be able to just speak into a remote, and it'll operate exactly the way you want it to.
Right, but there'll always be. Whenever you have technology, you'll always have to have somebody that knows how to put it together to begin with. So, no matter how far we come, it will always, as they say, break, but not break. But you're going to have service on a system like this. It is a computer system, and anybody that's familiar with computers know that they're not error-free all the time. There will be errors, and it's key to be quick to respond to your customer when there are issues, I think. If you're not available and your service takes a long time, it really does not reflect well on your company.
Sure. And as it relates to people who are building or remodeling, it's pretty important that if you're gonna build a house like this, you want to make sure that you have some of these bells and whistles, just from the standpoint of resale value, because somebody might be looking for a house, and if you don't have some of these components and at the very least structured wiring in the house, that could be the breaking point where they say, I'm not gonna buy that house because it's not future proofed.
Right, and I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent, so I don't know what it adds in terms of value, but I know it does add sexiness. So if your house is in the same price point as the house down the street, and you have all these amenities, it definitely shows better, I would think. And a guy like myself, of course, you can't ever have too many bells and whistles.
And on the flip side, if the house doesn't have those technological amenities, that could be the deal breaker.
Yeah, it could be. A lot of people are looking for that. I mean, at the bare minimum, like you said, structured wiring. Everybody has a computer. Everybody needs a network. And whether that's a network printer that they're sharing throughout the house or just a simple wireless network. I mean, it's commonplace in everybody's home at this point.
Gotcha. You know, one of the things that I didn't see you demonstrate is just the ability to play music throughout the house. Probably one of the most popular items that homeowners ask for when they're talking to you about having a system installed. You know, everyone loves music, and to have speakers in the ceiling and different rooms throughout the house to be able to just be able to listen to their favorite music. Can you kind of demonstrate that?
Yeah. So basically, it's the same interface we were looking at earlier. I go under the Listen tab. You can choose any of these sources. It could be your iPad, your Apple TV. I'm going to use Rhapsody because it's a digital service. And then from there, you just choose the song and title that you want to do. If it's not on here, you can search it. It will find anything. You can hit play now, and takes a moment, but it should come on. It is streaming off the internet, so it takes a second. There it goes.
No, I'm hearing the music come on. Nice.
Also gives you cover art, and gives you the name of the album, you know, who the artist is, all that. But you chose it, so you probably may have already known that.
Terrific. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to describe about the system that NextGen Technologies installed?
I think we've covered a good portion of it. You know, distributing it to the entire house. Any of the features that we saw on here, we can basically recreate from any room in the house, which is very, very important to most people, because they don't want to just have it in the one room. That's what the distributed audio and video kind of lends itself to.
And what about absentee homeowners being able to access any aspects of this system from their first home in Chicago or LA or wherever?
Anywhere you have an internet connection, you have accessibility to everything I've shown you. Lights, garage doors, security cameras. When I mentioned thermostats, you can adjust thermostats. Anywhere with an internet connection, you can pull it up, and a web browser, of course.
And then what about like if you were using your smartphone from anywhere in the country or the world?
Yes, any smartphone as well. It's not an app. As you're seeing on the iPad, you actually go through the web browser on the phone or through Safari on an iPhone, but it's basically the same interface once you pull it up. Then the reason it's not an app like that is you actually log in. It's a secure login, and it creates a VPN between you and the house and your direct communication. So, you don't want a one-touch app to do that. You want to actually have a little bit of security measures set up so that not anyone has access.
Great. Okay. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, if I'm sure we've got some listeners, viewers, and readers who may have some additional questions and might want to talk to you about what a system like this would cost them and so forth. How can everyone get in touch with NextGen Technologies?
Always via the web, www.nextgenusa.com, or you can call the office, 871-8531.
Okay, great. Well, we have been talking with Michael McIntosh with NextGen Technologies at a Seabrook Island home where NextGen Technologies installed a number of very, very interesting technological uses for this house. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, we're talking with the homeowner now, and Chick, I just wanted to ask you how you've been enjoying all this technology. Has it been overwhelming for you?
Maybe not overwhelming, but certainly enjoyable. it really makes you understand, what is possible in terms of making life easier and more predictable, and being able to more relax and enjoy, the surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Was there a big learning curve involved with learning how to operate all this equipment?
There was, but we had really good coaches. Mac and his crew were very good and very patient with us. Mm-hmm. We old-timers sometimes take a little longer, mm-hmm. and they were patient in that regard. And, really the equipment, it was very straightforward, very intuitive, mm-hmm. which makes it quite easy to operate. Now it's more secondhand.
Well, good. Well, good. When you were in the design phase of your beautiful house, what aspects from a technological point of view were important to you that you really wanted to integrate into your house?
Well, I think the most important one was the stereo throughout the house, and central control of the video, so that we had it distributed and could enjoy it at different places and see different things in different rooms at the same time. But I think the most important piece for us was not knowing what we didn't know. And we relied on Mac to really tell us what was possible, because we just didn't know. We aren't techies by nature and haven't kept up. So it was great to find out, for example, having an inverted floor plan, being able to know at a glance whether the garage door was closed or not, and if it was open, close it, or if it was closed, open it. So things like that we really couldn't ask for because we didn't know existed were really the most important pieces for us. And I think that whole journey in terms of knowing what was possible and then integrating it in a way that made sense for the way we lived.
So there were certain things that you knew you wanted, like being able to listen to music no matter what room you were in, and then Next Gen Technologies kind of pointed out some of the things that you did not know anything about that were available to you, though.
That's correct. That's correct. And really, I think what we learned initially, we interviewed several different companies, and of course, you look at 7 different technologies. It was very expensive. More expensive than we realized, and we should have known better, but we didn't. But with Next Gen, the price was brought down significantly, so it could be affordable for us. Because I think everyone knows today the price of everything is increased. So having something that really wasn't as much as it could have been was really desirable for us from a budgeting point of view.
Sure, that's great. Anything else you'd like to add about Next Gen Technologies?
I think it's something people should really take a hard look at, because I think today's houses need to be equipped this way. It makes sense from a safety point of view. It makes sense from a practical point of view in terms of saving dollars and cents. And finally, it makes sense in terms of enjoying your house.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks. Appreciate having a word with us.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming here.